Well, hey, Community Church, coming back at you again with our daily Bible reading videos. As you can see here, I'm outside. I'm actually at my house. It's in the background there. But I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the verses in Exodus that we have been reading. In particular, one of them, which is where Pharaoh, his heart is hardened towards God. And in some of our translations, it says that God hardens Pharaoh's heart. Now, if you go back and read the other plagues and the other situations where it's Moses and Pharaoh kind of interacting with one another, we see a plethora of phrases used. We hear that, Pharaoh hardened his heart towards God, or Pharaoh's heart was hard, or that God hardened Pharaoh's heart. And I know this is a struggle for a lot of us, myself included, where it's like, well, if God hardens Pharaoh's heart to not letting his people go, isn't that counterintuitive? What in the world is going on? Why wouldn't God soften Pharaoh's heart so that the Israelites could be set free? Well, here's the example I like to use. It's not a sunny day right now, but I like to think of an analogy that uses the sun. And so we know that the sun is constant, right? It gives off heat, and it causes us to have really nice days, just kind of like God. God is constant. He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. But the sun, using kind of this analogy, the sun causes some substances to melt, but also hardens some substances. And so the reason why I'm outside today, as you can see down here, this is my concrete parking pad that I have at my house. And concrete is not soft. It is quite a hard material. I can jump on it, sometimes it cracks, but in order to get concrete to harden and to dry, it's wet, and then when exposed to the sun, that concrete hardens and dries and becomes very firm and unmoving. Now, let's say I had a chocolate bar, and I put the chocolate bar on this concrete pad on a hot, sunny day. Does the chocolate bar get hard? Does it get harder? No, the chocolate bar melts. And so when exposed to the same substance, when exposed to the same thing, both concrete and chocolate are exposed to the sun. The sun did not change. The chocolate bar melts, concrete hardens up. And we can say it's correct to say, well, the sun melted the chocolate. The sun hardened the concrete. Those are both accurate statements, but it depends upon the substance that's being exposed to the sun. And so I like to use this analogy when explaining Pharaoh and us when we are exposed to the presence of God. When Pharaoh was exposed to the presence of God, when God made his presence known to Pharaoh, the condition of his heart had no other reaction than to harden and be and antagonize against Yahweh, the God of the Israelites, because he had been living in against God and against the Israelites. But other times, like Moses, when he's exposed to the presence of God in the burning bush, his heart softens. He's willing to do the will of the Lord. So it's not that God is being malicious and is hardening Pharaoh's heart because he doesn't want Pharaoh to do whatever he wants. It's that the condition of Pharaoh's heart has no other reaction than to be against God. And it's the same today too. What's the condition of our hearts? What's the condition of our heart when we are exposed to the presence of God? Are we going to harden our heart and be against him? Or are we going to allow God to change us and to shape us? And so I think that's a little bit of a clarifying understanding of what it means when either Pharaoh's heart was hardened, God hardened Pharaoh's heart. It's not necessarily an action that no matter what, God's going to do this to him. It's God is constant. He's the same. And he presents himself to Pharaoh through Moses. But because of the condition of Pharaoh's heart, the condition of Pharaoh to be prideful, self-serving, there's no other reaction Pharaoh could have had than to harden his heart against God. So let us not have our hearts hardened. Let us have soft and malleable hearts so that when we are exposed to the presence of God, we can serve him. Thank you, Community Church. Again, this is a quick 5-minute video. Look forward to more. Sorry I'm a day late, but I'm looking forward to giving more commentary and discussing more on Sunday. Thank you, Community Church. Keep listening and following along.